So it's pretty clear at this point that we have no strategy when it comes to Russia and Ukraine.
So Preston released a very excellent video talking about how we really don't have a strategy on Ukraine and basically lamenting frustration around it. And I completely agree with everything he said. However, I do want to kind of bring in a second thread of conversation that the left has often kind of hammered repeatedly, and that is whether or not Trump is a Russian asset. And I'm not going to give you an answer. You're going to have to use your brain and critical thinking skills and make an answer for yourself. However, I am going to help kind of explore this idea, especially through the framework of Ukraine, because I think that it's a bit more nuanced than everybody's thinking. Because on the left, it's just going to be an unequivocal and immediate yes, and on the right, it's going to be how could he possibly say that no? But also, I don't hear the right talking about it that much, but that really doesn't matter. What does matter is that you don't have to have a handler and that you don't have to be receiving payment to be considered an asset. What really matters is that you are acting in a way that whatever the group is behind you, in this case the Russians, is wanting. And with regards to Ukraine especially, that is definitely the direction that things are moving in. It benefits Russia that the United States does not have a cohesive or well thought out strategy with Ukraine. It's not just about whether or not we want peace or we're coming up with a peace deal. It's just as long as we are not supporting Ukraine, that's all that matters. And if they can put Trump in a position where he's becoming more frustrated with Zelensky or Ukraine and not necessarily even focused on Russia, even though he has become frustrated with Russia at times, as long as he isn't making any decisive decisions or sending anything to Ukraine like Tomahawk cruise missiles that Russia would really not benefit from at all, then Russia's winning. And just to describe just how insane this past week has been with our quote-unquote strategy or lack thereof with Ukraine, everything that just happened where Trump basically just baited and switched Ukraine after listening to Putin talk endlessly again. Look, Rubio had a conversation with Lavrov, and they've completely scrapped any conversation between Trump and Putin about a peace talk because guess what? Russia hasn't changed their position. They're not going to talk. And we're just going in circles at this point, and that's more what Preston was talking about. But again, who benefits from this? It is unequivocally Russia. Russia benefits because they get more time that they can continue to try to pursue this war that, at least from Putin's perspective, from the information he's receiving, it sure seems like he believes that Russia's winning and they have a chance to win this thing as long as they have enough time. Now, we can talk about the reality on the ground and actual facts all we want, and that might not prove true for Putin. What matters for Putin is the information that he's receiving, and that seems to be completely different from what reality is showing. And based on that, based on the information Putin was receiving, he seems to believe that as long as they have time, they can win. And how do they buy time? They keep Trump going in circles, looking in different directions. So is Trump a Russian asset? You make your own decision.